Hello there, greetings, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is setting and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys today with a 2 versus 2 live look-in. That's right, we'll be having a look at the play of me from the first-person perspective. Not promising that it's going to be fantastic, but I am, I'll do my best out there. So yep, I'm playing as Overcommand here today. The map is this one, whose name I actually can't remember. I was talking to this guy with Tashimi, who's like, he was learning Japanese, I'm learning Japanese, so we had a little bit of something in common. I met him randomly in some kind of a team game, and we decided to play a few more 2v2s together. So, looks like I'll be going for Volks Grenadiers off the bat, just engaging in a little bit more chat. Yep, just fair of a match up. I'm going to roll on out. I've got a favourite position that I like to place it in on this map. Let's see. I think that the game sound is actually really quiet, so I'm just going to boost that up a bit. There we go. Now we can hear the game a bit better. I hope that that's not drowning me out. We'll have to see how it goes. So yeah, it's Volks Grenadiers. Kubal's going to be the second squad of choice. Now it depends. Sometimes if I'm feeling super ambitious, I go for the building before another unit, so just 3 units in total before I grab my battle group at HQ. If I'm not feeling super aggressive, that's like tech aggressive, not in terms of units. If I'm wanting to just like try and get my truck down and like in a silly position, and the more aggressive the position, the earlier you have to put it down. So by cutting an extra unit, I can put it somewhere like slightly more aggressive. So I have cut another unit to get this down early. I'm not sure how worthwhile that was in hindsight, because the position that it's in is not super risky. But anyway. Kubalwagen going to be hitting the front, which gives me my 3 favourite toys to play with at this stage in the game. Storm Pioneers, Kubalwagen and the Volks Grenadiers. Kubalwagen's going to find some engineers, so I'm quite happy just to leave it there and begin the suppression. So those Volks Grenadiers are just capping, but the Storm Pioneers will be more than happy to run in and take advantage of the situation. And you can see here how this 3-pronged attack hits home, you know. These 3 units do work very well together, and obviously the Storm Pioneers are very effective against suppressed infantry. They can just run in and sweep them up, and the Storm Pioneers can also repair the Kubalwagen, which is pretty valuable. So some units here managed to get into the flank of the Kubalwagen, so its side armour considerably more susceptible to getting penetrated by rifle fire than the front, so I've just backed it up and turned it a little bit there. These Storm Pioneers, again, happy to deal with those conscripts at close range. Rifleman firing out. You can see my teammate engaged on the mini-map, so, keep an eye on that to keep abreast of how the battle's going in the north. These conscripts here falling back, just trying to move the Pioneers down for a little bit more damage, probably futile, but, whatever, at this stage in the game, it all helps because they probably don't have medics, so any damage I get on now will be damage that I get the benefit of when they come out again from their base. Volks Grenadiers have now taken the main point, so they're going to start moving up. Behind this, I'm actually researching the forward fallback point rather than getting another unit. Now, this is like a super ballsy opening. It's basically a bad opening, but I quite enjoy it. It means that you're very low on the ground in terms of units, but anyway, Kubalwagen's going to come up to the north just to help out my friend who I saw was taking some fights up there. These Storm Pioneers going to look to flank, hopefully in the fog of war, get the jump on those conscripts. The Volks Grenadiers, they're trading in cover, happy to do so for a while, especially at that range against conscripts, they're happy to do so. So, it looks like the Kubalwagen's going to come back, and I'm going to run it down the backfield. The line of sight on the Kubalwagen's really good, and if you attack move it, it'll stop and engage targets at reasonably long range as it's moving around, so that's pretty good. Forward fallback point has now just been set, and a second squad of Volks Grenadiers is the fourth unit of choice for me, although I suppose 3rd unit of choice, seeing as I was stuck with the Storm Pioneers from the start. Anyway, some engineers going to come on through. The conscripts decided to chase the Kubalwagen, indicating to me that he probably has the anti-vehicle grenade research, so I'm just playing it cautious here, just turning the Kubalwagen into the Kitewagen here, and it's going to kite as hard as it can. Those Pioneers and the Volks Grenadiers in the south are still trading pretty well. At this point, the Kubalwagen had just taken too much damage for me to continue this kiting, so I was forced to disengage it from the fight. But my matey has a machine gun MG42 set up to cover, so luckily nothing should get through. Storm Pioneer's going to get right on up into the fight, and these Volks Grenadiers feeling pretty gutsy as well. A possible incendiary grenade I was toying with the idea of there, but those conscripts moved as you would hope that they would. Going to grab a Panzerschreck on that squad there. So that upgrade is coming down around about the 4.5 minute mark. That's a very early Panzerschreck, and it's probably a silly move because now I can't throw a grenade if I need to, which is kind of dumb. Anyway, they're going to fall back from there. The 2-man Volks Grenadier squad. Now I'm specifically not falling them back for the hopes that I can, for the hopes that the Panzerschreck upgrade will finish on them and I'm able to destroy the fuel cache. That's kind of why I was taking the earlier Panzerschreck upgrade. So they're going to hang on out there and try and get that fuel cache. The Kubalwagen's coming out to try and meet up with the Storm Pioneers. There we go. See, now you can see the effect of that Panzerschreck on the fuel cache there. So just trying to... This is effectively... I mean, it's 200 manpower, so it's not quite a squad wipe, but it's getting on for it. I mean, they've got some fuel out of the deal, but hardly any, I would have thought, because that fuel cache wasn't there for very long. So anyway, like the Mechanized Company looking to be established as the next order of call, those Volksgrenadiers are just going to decap that point, and it looks like I'm actually even going to capture it. But of course, you know, they're going to want to fall back sooner rather than later. The Kubelwagen now just being repaired by the Storm Pioneers, and the second squad of Volksgrenadiers just coming out now. I don't want to risk the 1-star veteran squad with the Panzerschrecks, so the fallback comes down nearly instantaneously. Here comes squad number 2, and I'm floating a lot of manpower at this point, which is probably a mistake. I should probably build like a live field gun or another squad of Volksgrenadiers in all fairness. Anyway, the Kubelwagen here, I was happy to exchange fire. The infantry, of course, will have to fall back in good order and kite in front of this flamethrower squad here. Even the Kubelwagen will take damage given enough time, but the suppression has begun to add up on that squad, so we're happy to take the fight here. Now, basically, if he can get rid of the Kubelwagen, he utterly takes this fight. As long as the Kubelwagen's in the fight, I'm okay, because it's suppressing them. So I'm even going to leave it stationary here and have my guys repairing under fire, which is very risky. So risky, in fact, that I'm going to lose the Kubelwagen. Anti-vehicle grenade coming out of those conscripts, and I guess I thought that they might become pinned before that time, but that is not going to happen. This is me putting the final touches into the Kubelwagen myself, because the idea of my enemy having a Kubelwagen is horrific beyond belief. It is abhorrent to my senses. So anyway, getting some reinforced rearm on the go. The fuel conversion is now activated on the mechanized regiment HQ building, and going to get some more reinforcing complete. Accidentally had caps on, but I'm just telling him I've lost the south. I'm really sorry. You can see on the minimap that my ally is having quite the struggle as well. This map is quite a large one, so when you play it 2v2, it tends to devolve into 2 1v1s rather than being a coherent 2v2, at least until the mid and late game, when there's enough units and enough justification to send units to help your friend. For example, if you have a Panzer IV, it's fast enough and high impact enough that sending it to your friend is something that you can do, whereas if you just send a squad right around about now, they're going to take a minute to get there. The fight might look completely different by the time they get there, and these are all poor excuses for not cooperating with your teammate more often, but I'm just saying these are the reasons why it normally happens. So Storm Pioneer's just going to go for a very simple chase. That squad really wants to fall back. Ooh, we left that close with those conscripts. And that's too many guys, so the Storm Pioneers, I decided to actually just fall back rather than even trade for damage. It's not very far of a fallback for me. I've got these light guns coming in, which are going to start doing damage. Sorry, light guns singular. 3rd Volksgrenadier squad on the way right now. Here comes a squad of conscripts. Just going to try and trade with the Volksgrenadiers for now. There's the rather obvious Molotov. Oh my goodness, I left it rather late to click there. One of my guys got splashed a bit. And there's another Molotov in the south, though. I wasn't watching. That is terrible. Oh, Magpie, what are you doing? You should be better than that, boyo. There's a Dansak spicy machine gun deployed at the back, so I'm going to try and get the flank with that squad of Volksgrenadiers to the north. The saving grace, of course, of the Dansak, as far as when you're playing against it, is that the arc is quite slim. Oh, look at the damage it does. It is grimy. Here comes a half-track with some Storm Grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers. Storm Grenadiers? What are those? Panzer Grenadiers, indeed. And, oh, that light gun is hammering that poor conscript. Possibility of a squad wipe going there. I'll be lucky to get it. Nope, indeed, not going to get it. So there comes the fallback. Here comes the 3rd squad of Volksgrenadiers. The Panzerschreck is going to come down on them ASAP because, you know, my opponent could come at me with a half-track or something like that, and it would be nice to have the appropriate counters. I'm building a flak half-track right now, but as I recall, I thought better of it, and I would think better of it again, because on this map it's very open. The flak half-track, a little bit of a dubious choice, so there it is here. I've just cancelled the flak half-track. And I don't really want to commit to anything until I know what my opponent's teching choices are, which right now, of course, I have no idea. Just marshalling my troops around the field here, getting the Volksgrenadiers back in order. Everyone's kind of healing, getting a salvage on that vehicle. Of course, every little helps, especially when you're playing as Overcommand. 5 fuel. I mean, that represents like 20 seconds worth of fuel income right now, so that's pretty valuable. Gonna grab this Kubelwagen as well, so that puts me ahead by 40 seconds in terms of resources. You know, salvaging is like super important. It is really good, and I'd rather be able to salvage than build caches. Not because I think it's better, I just find it more interesting. Building caches I find like incredibly boring. Anyway, here comes a flamethrower team out of the fog of war. Now there's a nice bit of cover here, and I should be able to use that to take this fight to my advantage. Now the main issue from my point of view in this fight has got to be the Dansak, wherever that thing appears. Now I do believe it did manage to fall back from that last fight. And there's a Molotov, and again I'm horrendously late on the fallback. That gets good damage and a level of veterancy onto the Storm Pioneers, and I'm late again on the other Molotov. So a little bit of a shameful display there. And is the light gun even in arc? Yes, it is. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it is firing. It is firing. It's doing something. Man, I can't wait for them to remove suppression on that thing. It's so silly. I think they should just remove suppression, give it auto-facing again, and it will be fine. I think that would be a good unit. Anyway, Dansek there gets into those sandbags there. So these Volks in the north trying to do what they can. The Storm Pioneers likewise trading for damage. I'm not falling them back yet because there's no danger in the immediate future of a squad wipe, but I'm looking to pull those Storm Pioneers back sooner rather than later. Now, a probable Molotov going to splash my guys there up in the north. I moved them preemptively, but that was far too soon, and considering throwing a grenade of my own. But anyway, there comes the fallback because they were outgunned at the incorrect range to take on a conscript. Going to fall everyone back just to rearm and reinforce. The light gun going to put down a barrage for now, and a secondary light gun on the way to the field. Considering deploying my Schwerpanzer HQ, gonna put it. Am I gonna deploy it? See, the trouble is I've just fallen back on my troops, so now is not a very good time to place it because it will be super vulnerable and I will not be in a good position to defend it. And I mean, we're talking here about 80 fuel and 200 manpower, which obviously I have to take very seriously. And when it's deploying, it's so easy for your opponents to destroy. It's like super fragile. It has like no armor and probably like less than a fifth of its regular health, so like just rifles, like each hit is like pretty massive. Anyway, here I am just waiting for my dudes to get back in order, I guess. Schwerpanzer HQ, going to deploy it in a safe position. Rather than waiting, I'm going to just deploy it in a safe position. I mean, it's a defensive position. It doesn't cover the middle, or indeed any of the victory points, which I find quite sad. But it will at least defend my buildings and be like a position that I can fall back to. You know, yeah. So some Volks Grenadiers heading north, Storm Pioneers flanking around to the north likewise. 2 squads of Volks Grenadiers down here to the south. A reasonable dodge on that Molotov. Got splashed a bit though, which is unfortunate. And just going to turn that light round to come to face those conscripts down there. Storm Pioneers here. Going to look to secure a spit roast on those conscripts. So they're going to run up this ramp here, and that's going to force a fallback from the conscripts. Spot a few units there in the middle. Whoa, that's a big mortar. That's a 120mm mortar round. Wow, look at the damage that did to those Volks Grenadiers. And here comes a big push of infantry, supported by the 120mm mortar and the Dansak. So I am scrambling right now. Bad things be going down. A pretty big Soviet push is incoming, having to fall back in good order. But he's luckily leaving his units within range of my Schwerpanzer HQ. So I'm getting a lot of free hits and suppression there, which is fantastic. Now these Volks Grenadiers, I'm just trading for damage, trading for time. I guess I am also capturing that point. Oh no, although not now. So that was why I decided to wait. Now the Storm Pioneers decided to go all the way around and try and find that mortar, or at least a mortar anyway. And that they will, so that's going to force the mortar back. Yeah, I'm not going to kill it, but that buys me a precious few mortar-free minutes, probably like a minute, maybe 90 seconds, something like that. Reinforcing all my units. Now those mortars are getting a bit close for comfort. 120mm mortars, once they start shelling your battle group at HQ, it feels really bad, trust me on that one. So anyway, double light barrage, going to try and attempt to locate that mortar. And my good old friend here is going to come down with the Panzer Grenadiers in the 250 half track. Look to secure some damage that way. These Storm Pioneers, I'm just looking to decapture all of their backfield and try and cut off some points. But if you look on the minimap, those Storm Pioneers are now in a pretty sticky situation. Let's see if I have the awareness to save them. I can't actually remember. I played this game a few days ago, by the way, for reference. Nice fan out of Volks Grenadiers, so I am going to catch these Storm Pioneers and just fall them back because, my goodness, they did not want to be there. But let's see if they actually get out. Down to 2 men, taking gratuitous amounts of damage. Looks like they're going to make it. So Obersoldaten are the next choice. They're going to be entering the field now. I'm relatively happy with my anti-tank because I haven't actually seen any vehicles from them yet. And 2 Panzerschrecks is like enough to slow down a vehicle, enough that a Raketwerfer can enter the field or something like that. And I'm like getting quite a lot of fuel. I mean, well, a reasonable amount because I've got fuel conversion switched on. So I'm looking to have my own Panther or something like that. So I'm going to salvage the Zis gun. I was sorely tempted to take it, but it's just not mobile enough. It doesn't suit my style, and right now fuel would be really good. See, just there I was renumbering my Volk squads. I always have my left or topmost squad as 1, middle as 2, and bottom or rightmost one as 3. And then that just makes commanding your line really easy. You just have 1, 2, and 3, and you can like micro 3 squads of Volks Grenadiers incredibly easy. So here comes some conscripts coming out of the fog of war. These Volks Grenadiers going to just want to try and decap that point, but the Dansak has them acquired, and that's going to pin them in short order. Obersoldaten looking to try and help out my friend up in the north because I kind of thought I had things under control down in the south. That 120mm mortar is back, and that's firing at my units, so I had to fall them back because they were pinned. The 2 Ligs are looking in the right direction, though probably not quite in range. Maybe now, because those conscripts are advancing forwards. So expect some Lig rounds to come forward shortly. Flamer Pioneers in the 250 half-track for my ally. Pretty spicy combination. That's going to force those conscripts back. We're actually trading reasonably well here. He's going to have to get out to start repairing his half-track, but that's no biggie. These Obersoldaten looking to cap in the backfield. I hope I don't forget about them. Oh, speaking of being forgotten about, those Volksgrenadiers are taking some big hits. The Group 2, if you look at the bar at the top, are taking massive hits. They need to fall back, and they will. Whew, just in the nick of time. Everyone else getting in some heavy cover. The light guns have advanced down onto the low ground now, which is it's risky, but nothing gained. Wait, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And you know, if I'm going to keep them firing, I've got to put them forwards into a more advanced position. And they should be able to scurry back reasonably quickly if threatened, so I don't mind that position at all. Obersoldaten getting some capturing done, just trying to be annoying as I spread my forces across the map. Now, my friend with the 250 half-track, he's just diving in. Now, that's a Molotov, so that'll be a fallback. And I'm just kind of constantly cycling these Volks, trying to keep them moving. The light guns are in a good position there, actually. They're actually doing some reasonable damage. Here's a Panzer II Lukes, which I missed earlier, that I was on the build queue. But yeah, this makes sense. Again, like I say, my opponent doesn't appear to have very much in the way of armoured units. And Panzer II will be able to skirmish really nicely in this open environment. I also managed to snipe the Zis gun off them, so that's pretty cool. Using a booby trap there from the Obersoldaten. Why not? Make your opponent think twice before approaching capture points in the future. And it's quite a fright the first time it goes off. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to capture this point like I do all the time, and there's a kaboom! Oh my god, my squad has to fall back. So yeah, that's pretty spicy. Here's a AA half-track. So I was sending the Panzer II up to the north to help my friend. That now obviously not an option. So, well, it is an option, it's just that it's way more superior to have it to deal with this AA half-track. I mean, the amount of damage the Lukes did there, reasonable, and yeah, you can totally chase that unit down. Now, I don't want to follow it into fog of war. There could be Zis guns, there could be mines, there could be dudes with anti-tank grenades, there could be anything. So I'm happy here just using the Panzer II to take out the Danzak there. Now, watch the armour facing on the Panzer II. I just rotated it, even though it was firing at the target next to it. I rotated it to face the fog of war, which is pretty important. Now he gets the anti-vehicle grenade, but thankfully for me there's no follow-up, so that Panzer II is happy to keep taking shots at those conscripts. Bit of a wasted Molotov there, actually. Probably should have cancelled that one. I was moving quite early. And the Obersoldaten are presently engaged, so I should probably do something about them right now. I wonder if I'm going to notice they're fighting. If you look at their health in the top right, you can see the flashing combat icon, and their health is decreasing. And there comes the fallback just as they get splashed by the Molotov. Now, as this gun gets into position, but that's way too far forward. I think that was moved into position and then forgotten about by my foe, because that just came way too far forward. And I'm going to try and chase with my Volks now. And that is a Lend-Lease Sherman. So that is problems, for which I really need a stronger answer. Now, if he's on the ball, he could probably chase this 3-star unit of conscripts with the Panzerschreck, but he's not going to just now. And I was thinking about an incendiary there. You could see the outline placement, and that would have been sweet if I'd have got it, but it was just too risky. In the face of the 120mm mortar and the Lend-Lease Sherman, I could easily have been squad wiped there, and I don't want to invite a chase from his Sherman, not just now. 2 Rakettenwerfers on the queue. They're going to come along and help me out against this Sherman. Yes, they're very late. Do take note, that's just late. I had loads of manpower floating. It would not have hurt me to buy a preemptive one. Now I'm thinking about the Panzer IV there, and then I was thinking about the Jagdpanzer. You can just see me hovering my mouse cursor over my options. Now have a think to yourself, what do you think I'm going to save my fuel for? Oh, wow, okay. Huh, apparently that answer comes quicker than you expected, so it's going to be a Jagdpanzer IV. This is one of my favourite units. It's got great range, great rate of fire, great accuracy, great penetration, and with veterancy it can turn invisible and has fantastic line of sight, so pretty much all you could ask for in a tank destroyer. Paired up with the Panzer II Lukes and the infantry forces that I have, it should be quite a formidable fighting force. Now you're probably thinking, why not save for a Panther? Well, actually a Panther's not as good against armour, I would say, as a Jagdpanzer IV, and that's based on the rate of fire and range. I think it outranges the Panther, it certainly feels like but it's mostly that rate of fire. Also the fact that it can go invisible is pretty intimidating for opponents. And also, you know, it is cheaper on fuel. I wouldn't have had the Panther on the queue by now, so there is that. Okay, so the Panzer II Lukes comes a little too far forward. There comes the reverse move to try and save it. Volksgrenadiers just doing what they can. Got some Obersoldaten, they're now deployed here in the south. That's an Su-85 for some reason. What is that doing so far forward? He must be looking for the loops. That's way too far forwards. What is it doing? Oh, that Su-85. No. Oh dear me, 120mm mortar round, still landing my ranks. I'm just taking care of the reinforcing rearming here. Oh, I think I've dropped a squad yet, which is quite nice. Have I? Oh no, I dropped the Kuba wagon, yeah, fair enough. This Raketwerfer just needs to take shots, but annoyingly I had it selected from another squad. Anyway, it should take a shot here. Whoosh, bang, there we go. And now I can hopefully stalk this Su-85. Nope, he's going to back it out sensibly. Now the Jagdpanzer has arrived, and I've neglected to give it orders. It's sitting in my base, so let's see how long this goes on for. Mistake spotted. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Probably sat there for about 20-25 seconds idle there, which is never good. I mean, it would have been here if I'd have given it a move order before now. The Panzer II has been repaired, of course. I just dropped it back to my mechanised regiment HQ. You can see it on the mini-map there. It's in a good position for repairing my tanks, just kind of out of the main fight. Anyway, here comes a Molotov. That's going to be a move from those 4-star Volks. Here comes the Panzer II back into action. Just going to creep forward the Raketwerfers. Where's the other Raketwerfer? Oh, he's just coming into position now. A Stug from my allies is going to come in. Panzer II still doing good damage. And he's going to pick up the crew of the Zisgun there. And now we're ready to push again. I want to find those tasty mortars. Now there's a vehicle on the map. Oh, I haven't checked out what it is yet. Oh, it just appeared briefly. Now it's gone. Uh-oh. So there's a vehicle out there. Could be a Lentley Sherman. Could be the Su-85. Now there's an Su-76. It's that red one on the minimap that I saw previously. Anyway, so it looks like those Volks are going to try for a shot there. Or maybe not. And here comes the Jagdpanzer. Now look at this terrain. This is just a perfect bowl for the Jagdpanzer to rain over. And you can kite so easily. Like, this is just nice, basically. Nice. So yeah, pretty much ready to rock and firing on all cylinders, pushing forward here. Jagdpanzer gets an unlucky miss, and his first round kills 3 of my infantry, which kinda sucks. Bam! But that rate of fire, you know, once it gets to 2- and 3-star veterancy, it's super good as the Jagdpanzer. And here, I'm happy to trade. I've got Volks Grenadiers coming forward to add damage on, so... That's going to be a T-34-85 taken out by the Jagdpanzer there. That's going to be enough of an excuse to back it out. The enemy team has called a vote to surrender. Oh, so they just surrendered at that. Well, I suppose they just lost the Su-85 too. So that is going to be the end of this first-person look-in. I've got a few saved, and I'm just picking them at random. I haven't won them all, I guarantee you that. And they were played about 5 days to a week ago, so I can't actually even remember how they all go. But anyway, if you guys like them, I'll keep uploading them. Do let me know if you find them interesting, or if you just prefer regular ladder coverage that I like to provide. I hope that you find these live 1v1s like kind of vaguely useful. I find that in Company of Heroes 2 there's not nearly so many streamers, and I play StarCraft 2 as well, and I enjoy watching there. So anyway, MVP, Volks Grenadiers, nothing out of the usual there. Kuba Wagon was the unit of mine that died. Damage dealt looks pretty impressive, but I think that's mostly just because I had the Raketwerfers and the Jagdpanzer doing good damage at the end, maybe. Most units looking pretty effective, all standard stuff there, regular percentages, the kind of thing that you'd expect, nothing out of the ordinary there. Did I look at the Panzer II? Oh, that would have been interesting. So anyway, that concludes this 2v2 live look-in. As I say, do let me know your thoughts if you enjoy them, or if you think that they're less good than the regular ladder coverage. I'd be curious to hear what you think. And yeah, for now, this is Magpie842, signing out.